again, go to a trade show, set your stuff up. People are going to give you all kinds of feedback. Qualifying that feedback is the valuable part, in my opinion.
As inventors and as entrepreneurs, you have to grow a thick skin because everybody thinks you're an idiot.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, oh, you don't have a job?
Yeah.
Okay, I've been doing this for like 30 years. I haven't had a job. Okay, that's fine. But, right?
But when you're out there on the corner with your little mug and your cup, you're doing good, So it's all right. Yeah. But I mean, it is a balance of having a thick enough skin, but also having the emotional intelligence to be able to listen to what the market is saying and vetting where the information is coming from, right?
And I think a lot of people take advice from people that tell them what they want to hear. And we run into that. Like, we throw a lot of clients out as InFocus. We're not going to take you because it doesn't work. We know our team's been together so long. We know how we work. We know how we work optimally. We know who we work with well. And we're not telling you what you want to hear. We're telling you what we think you need to hear. And you don't have to listen to us, right? And we've had 100%. People, and we're going to eventually show some products of people that sat across from us and said, I don't agree with you. And then go. That's fine. Like, go do it on your own then. But here's the things that you've missed. Because we've been doing it for so long, there are things that no one thinks about. We just had an hour-long conversation about events and going to conferences, and people don't think of how to use that properly. Yeah. And that's a cost. And if you don't get a return on it, you're just throwing money out the window.
Right. You could go to every event in the country, pick your industry. You could go to every trade show in the country and pick your setup and factor all those costs in and all those things. What are you going to the event for? What's your outcome from that? Is it to sell t-shirts? Is it to sell your product? Is it to make connections? And how does that tie into what your actual marketing and branding plan is? Instead of just, kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
It has to tie into your brand and your culture and your message. But also, more importantly, we go to a lot of conferences with no booth. We're going there to meet people. And literally, that's it. It's just a networking environment. And because you can only do so much networking with drip campaigns and emails and phone calls and social media.
Well, and part of it, too, is anyone that's gone to trade shows or events or tried to push product or push their business, I think when you think of the idea of it, especially as an inventor, you're like, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to set my table up, I'm going to show them what I've made, and then I'm just taking orders. I'm just going to see how fast I can count the money. And the reality is there are externalities to that situation that you may or may not have accounted for.
It's a fancy word.
Yeah,
You just look that up, dude.
I had
word
it on my
of the
phone.
day.
I got a word list down here of things I got to work into the conversation. Let me hit my next word down here. But you might be walking into a situation where it might not be so sweet, and it might not be, you might be walking into pure criticism. So again, coming back to that, having that thick skin, but also balancing it with, are you listening to what the people that you think your target market are saying to you when you go to these events and do all these things?
But also you have to know enough. Networking is about building or starting a relationship to get into a deeper conversation. But you have to know where that person's coming from. We just had a client that's building a hardware product, getting advice from software consultants.
Right.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, they're not wrong. They're wrong in that industry.
Yeah.
And they're taking it as Bible.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating to me. I was like, they've never walked the steps of MVP and prototype and manufacture ready.
Yeah.
And then finished product.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what brought us to this point of doing this together, is that you take advice from whoever you want, but you're not people love to give you their 2 cents, right? Again, go to a trade show, set your stuff up. People are going to give you all kinds of feedback. Qualifying that feedback is the valuable part, in my opinion, is you look at it and you go, so I build bikes and motorcycles and all this stuff.
At least you say
it. Yeah, in theory.
In theory.
If you've never spent more than $5,000 on a motorcycle, no matter what your opinion is, you're never going to buy anything from me. So it's not that I don't care about your input or your style. It's just that you're not my customer and you're not my target market. So your opinion then has to fall in line with the other opinions that come into the data set.